Welcome everybody. It's your boy, MarkN, UFC fan, Trini boy in the building. You know what it is. Smash the likes, subscribe, and if you're new, make sure to share it around and stick around. Smash that notification bell on all so you can see whenever I'm live. The road to 2K is here. Let's grow the community together. Join me in the road to the World Cup as we support Trinidad and Tobago on their road to the World Cup, of course, guys. Let me just switch for Trinidad. And of course, as you can see, guys, it will be a very interesting situation going forward and of course, Trinidad are in Jamaica. They had their last training session in the Hazley Crawford Stadium today, this morning, as you can see right there on the screen. And of course, the guys are excited, they are frustrated, and they are looking forward to this game, and they have the fight in them. And this can be a very surprising fixture for the dance hall steppers. Shout out to James Bond. I would say to you, my bro, not to be offensive, but I think that scoreline flattered you guys. I think Bermuda had chances to equalize the game when it was 2 goals up, but they, for lack of a better word, didn't have the quality in front of goal or the quality in defense to really give you guys a stern test. And I think concurrently, Trinidad had a stern test when they played against Curaçao on Friday night. And I think that Curaçao is one of the very strong teams in this new Concacaf World Cup qualifiers, coming with their full team that comes in a whole situation from the Netherlands, guys. And they are very, very strong, good in the midfield, very technically advanced, and they played very, very, very disciplined. And what I would say to you as a Jamaica fan, you should be very careful against them, because if you're sloppy as you were against Bermuda, they will definitely score some goals against you. Trini draw with a tin pot team. Well, that tin pot team might just surprise you guys at home tomorrow night, because what I'm saying to you guys is going to get very, very interesting. And of course, Trinidad and squad announced. Let's talk about it, because at the same time, it looks pretty interesting to me. Darnell Hospitalis, Justin Garcia, Isaiah Garcia, and Kobe Henry. And when I say Kobe Henry, man of the match, in my honest opinion, against Curacao, very, very strong in the defense line, very good on the ball. Jaron Jackie had a decent performance when he came in. And of course, Rio Cardines is making the right wing back role his own. And I tell you, Jamaicans, watch out for Rio Cardines, because he is going to be a nightmare in the office tomorrow night. He might be the one to flip the table upside down, because he's a very big threat coming in from the right hand side. And if you give him room, he will create for the team. And of course, when you look at the strike force, the likes of Levi Garcia and Dante Seeley, who surprisingly had a poor game against the likes of Curacao, in my honest opinion. And that's because I rate the kid highly. I think he can go levels up. And I think you might just see the Dante Seeley who was running 5 games and five goals in 5 games for Montreal FC earlier on, before coming to Trinidad in the game against Curacao. And the reason I don't think you should fear Trinidad and fear the soca, but what I think you should do is have some respect, because complacency comes when you're overconfident. And if Jamaica is overconfident tomorrow night, they might see themselves down 2 goals in the first half. And I'm telling you guys, Spicer is going to be on the score sheet. It could be the captain, Molino, with the second goal, or maybe a Dante Seeley strike. And I tell you guys, the biggest thing and problem that could ever happen to Jamaica is going down 2-0 in the first half to Trinidad and Tobago when we're a second half team. And Jamaica does not really go past 65 minutes in full pump. And this is what they have shown over the last 7 to 10 games that they have played. They are very strong in the opening session, and they get into the second half. And if they can command their lead, they do so. And after that, they usually die out of steam. Shout out to Josh in the building. You know what I mean? Trini knows what time it is. James Bond, here we go. Come first, Curaçao second, Jamaica third. Bro, I don't even know if that's gonna be possible, but it's gonna get very interesting. You know what I mean? Let's check out what they're saying because everybody wants to hear what Trinidad is doing for the World Cup, of course. Okay, so let's check this out. Let's see what's happening here. Of course, the team is training, guys. Of course, you know this. You know what I'm saying?
Round of the Concacaf World Cup Qualifiers. In the goalkeeping department are veteran keeper Marvin Phillip, along with Denzel
You
Smith
know,
and Jabari Center.
I'm just gonna use my buddy help here, and what I would say about our goalkeeping department going into the game against Jamaica. Yes, there's Marvin Phillip, but I think right about now he's more there like an experienced part coach because when you look at Jabari St. Hilaire and you look at Denzel Smith, these are two young goalkeepers, 22 and 24 years old, respectively. And I think these guys are what's going to take us forward. So it's going to be interesting to see what's up with there. And yes, Roblox Gamer Boy 3, Molino got a yellow card against Curaçao, but a yellow card doesn't keep you out of the game. You have to get three yellow cards to get a red card nowadays in the round. So I don't think it's going to be something we have to worry about. I think it's something Jamaica has to worry about because when they play against Trinidad, if they are lackluster like they were against Curacao in the second half, I think if the game is close or Trinidad has a lead in the game, luckily, then it's going to be very difficult for them to proceed going forward.
Today.
But
At the back
it's
sees the
me. It's
inclusion
who's me to say. You know what I mean? A lot of people might think I'm just exaggerating because I'm a Trinidad fan, and of course I'm going to be saying all I want for Trinidad to win because realistically, you know that's what I would like to achieve. But at the same time, guys, when I look at things and we look at all what's going on right now in the grand scheme of what's happening in CONCACAF. Yes, Jamaica won 4-0, and it's easy to applaud and say, you know what? Hats off to the Reggae Boys getting the job done against the weakest opposition in the group. But when they see the game of Trinidad against Curacao, a lot of people don't know that Jurian Timber's older brother, Dylan Timber, plays for Curacao. And a lot of players who play for Curacao play at top teams in the Eredivisie. Some even play in Bundesliga and some play in the Belgian league. So it's a strong squad that we played against. I think it's the squad strength is probably a little bit stronger than the Jamaican squad right now. May not be in attack, but the overall strength of the team and compatibility of the team is a bit more close knit than the Jamaican group. And right now, Jamaica being without nine of their main starters, although some people would argue that those starters cause a disruption in their team, you cannot deny the power impact of a Leon Bailey or of the likes of a Damari Gray or even the likes of a Mason Greenwood. So you have to be honest and say that Jamaica is a squad that not as strong as they should be in this current moment. Is a moment where Trinidad is a squad that's on the rise. We saw the performance of Kevin Molino, the captain. Real Gil didn't make the pitch, but Noah Powder was there and he had a strong performance playing in that left defensive midfield role. Daniel Phillips was doing a big number, playing a higher role up in the number 8 position. He looked very comfortable on the ball there, and he looked to be causing a lot of issues for the Curacao midfield. And they have a stronger midfield than the Jamaican midfield. A lot of people really talk about how weak the Jamaican midfield was, even against the likes of Bermuda. And James Bond, I want you to be honest here because on a guy that I know, his name is JT. He has his channel. He had a stream last night, and a lot of Jamaicans, even JT himself, was mentioning how weak the Jamaican midfield is, and they need to do something there because they avoid the midfield. They play long ball football, and against Trinidad, you're asking to be counter-attacked, and you're asking to be counter-attacked by a team that you know is very, very good at the counter attack. We have some very quick attacking players, and they are strong. And if Jamaica makes a mistake in this game and let Trinidad goes ahead, it's going to be difficult. With the likes of Stephen Yates possibly coming to the team, maybe Nathaniel James gets a start. Maybe Levi Garcia comes off the bench in this game against Jamaica. You never know what could happen because at the end of the day, guys, Levi Garcia is a better right winger, in my honest opinion. You know what I mean? And Ryan Telfer, he's a player that I think should be getting some starting minutes in this game. Not that not I'm not saying that Dante didn't have a very good game against Curaçao, but I feel like Ryan Telfer is better from the start of a game. I feel like when he starts, he get to the pace of the game earlier. Shout out to Ranks Trinidad in the building, and I wouldn't mind seeing Justin Obi from the second half early. You know, it have lots of options in attack now that we didn't have before. We have Kyle Aubrey, Tyree Spencer, Levi Garcia, Dante Seeley, Justin Obiku, and Justin is a strong striker. Shout out to Boss in the building. You know what I mean? It's a long time coming, and guys, now that the grandfather law has hit Parliament. Parliament was in session today. It's Monday. It's probably, just about finished at this point. And, who's to say that it has not been accelerated through Parliament? And let's just say, for lack of a better term, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, it will be official, or it should be official. That opens up the region, Trinidad and Tobago, to a wider pool of talent. And I think that will start scaring the likes of other CONCACAF teams. Israel 4, Italy 5 full time. How did Israel score 4 on Italy? That's wild, Brox. That is wild, bro. I would have never believed that if someone said that. Counter flour, counter flour, you have Mark to make roti. We ain't scared. But broski, I mean, everything great. You know what I mean? Most of the amazing things has come from Trinidad too, not just roti. I mean, carnival. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So lots of nice things come from Trinidad, bro. Dwight York, the best footballer in CONCACAF history, came from Trinidad as well. It's a long time. You know what I mean? Lots of great things. We're gonna sell you some ballers. Maybe not James Bond, but what I can tell you is there are some ballers coming in from Europe. You know what I mean? There are two youngsters that I hear might be coming in out have with some German influence. There might be a young Dutch kid coming in. I think he's a striker. I heard there might be the likes of four English players who will be trying their very utmost to switch allegiances. And that provides defensive stability, midfield strength, and another goalkeeping option. Guys, it's going to be very interesting. Those study them Jamaicans, broski. The only reason they got so good is because of England. Jamaica was never good with Jamaica. I mean, the best Caribbean born player that ever played football on the biggest stage is Dwight York. So I mean, even the English born Jamaican talent have not achieved the what Dwight York has achieved in the Prem. So they can talk about it all they want. They're still in the shadow of greatness, and they will see greatness on the touchline tomorrow because they never really see greatness. Other than Bob Marley and Usain Bolt and these guys, the women's track and field team greatness. But when it comes to football, the greatest thing they ever see on a football pitch, we will see it tomorrow in Dwight York. I mean, they could dispute that, but there's no real dispute for that. You know what I'm saying, Josh? You know what I mean? They could talk all they want, but when Dwight York land is the greatest footballer in Caribbean history on their soil in that current moment. So who knows what could happen because star power is real. And Dwight York knows what it takes. And Trinidad is a team right now gaining momentum. We're starting to look more confident playing together. We're starting to create a lot more opportunities together as a team. Like the last couple games, the amount of, I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but we dominating chances created, big chances created as well for the last 3 games in a row. Even when we lost, we had more chances than the team. even in the Unity Cup, we had more chances in the game than Jamaica. We had 22 chances and Jamaica had 12. And we had 17 on target, and Jamaica had 9. And I mean, we were lucky not to win that, unlucky not to win that game. But Dwight York was asking more questions than he was trying to win a game. I mean, at the same time, we will see. But I'm telling you guys better not sleep in the national office tomorrow, Godfrey, because you might have to terminate some of your employees tomorrow. They could lose the negotiations in that big meeting tomorrow evening, and the office will be in shambles. Jamaica has been to the World Cup before Trinidad, but they've never won points in a World Cup before Trinidad. And even when Jamaica was in the World Cup, their highest ranking was 42nd in the world. When Trinidad went to the World Cup, our ranking was 33rd. So that's 8 places higher, bro. So I mean, you don't want to argue with me when it comes to Trinidad and Jamaica, because I mean, I know y'all might nowadays have a stronger team, but back in the days, your team, we used to strike fear in that Jamaican team when we came to Jamaica. I could tell you that. Cephas only does run around. Palmer only good against weak teams. If this is a key striker, that's it for him. And once we pressure low and King, they will make mistakes. 100%, Josh. It's going to be an interesting encounter. Now, guys, make no mistake, Dwight York and the coach of Jamaica, they are very good friends, colleagues. They've worked together for a long time and they would know each other very well. They would have certain ideas of each other's personality. Of course, they are both good coaches. I think, Jamaica's coach has way more experience than Dwight York, but I think Dwight York has a little bit of that unknown factor on his side, and this young team is starting to believe in his tactics, in his vision, and what he's telling them to do, and what they will achieve if they do it and do it right. And we could see that by their performance in the second half against Curaçao. And guys, trust. When I saw that first half against Curaçao, I was very worried for the Jamaica game, but the second half gave me a lot to think about. And now when I look at this game, going into this game, and I see this lineup, and I see we have some experience there, some players like Ryan Telfer who creates a very significant, impacting performance if we can get the timing right. We have a strong defensive lineup for the first time in a long time. Look at our lineup there, guys. We haven't had a strong defensive lineup like that in years. You know what I mean? It's been a very, very long time since we've had a defensive lineup of that magnitude. And to be honest, guys, when you look at Jared, when you look at adding Yon Payne to that, and possibly other options coming from Europe-born talent, it's going to get very interesting. If Warner Brown come back, says Jamaica, says Godfrey, it's going to be rough on Trinidad. Well, I mean, that's if you're talking about if. And James Bond is speaking the truth here. He says, yes, Trini always gives us a good game. Last time I watched Trini versus Jamaica, we lost 1-0 about 20 years ago. And this is one of the things I was saying to you, James. And it might be a situation where tomorrow might just be the luck on Trinidad's side. Because if you look at the teams in form in CONCACAF right now, Trinidad would be that team that's gaining momentum. The performances are starting to culminate, and it looks certainly very interesting that Trinidad and Tobago could be a team that has one of their best performances against a long rival in Jamaica tomorrow night. Cephas is going to dismantle TNT, says Lee. Well, maybe. You know what I mean? I'm hoping for a good game. Both teams are, in my honest opinion, or should be the best teams in CONCACAF, better than ranked higher than the USA and Canada. But we both have a way to go before we can get to that point. We'll see if we do reach there in our lifetimes. Hopefully, it will be so. But for now, the grudge match is on, and if we take 3 points, we will go to the World Cup and you will have to go to the playoffs. And that's what we're hoping to see as a Trini fan. I think Jamaica has a stronger depth in their squad and more unity. So if they go to that playoff tournament, I think Jamaica stands a better chance of qualifying. I mean, if Trinidad was to be the team going to that tournament, I would hope that we strong enough to go through those games and qualify, but it will be difficult. But if we could somehow take 3 points tomorrow evening in the office, you know, maybe it will be like Carnival taking over Jamaica, you know, Trini style. It will be interesting. You go, nah, you guys go to the playoffs, bro. Trust me, it's better for both islands to qualify. And if it's anything, you know what I mean, you should say to yourself sometimes, you know, the greater good is always better than soul good. You know what I mean? So when Jamaica lose tomorrow, Godfrey, I want you to remember that I told you that Trinidad is going to win this game. It's probably going to be a 3-2 victory or a 4-2 victory for Trinidad, but it's definitely going to be a victory for Trinidad tomorrow. And the reason why I say that is because the way form and players work, I expect to see goals from the likes of Dante Sealy, Spicer, and who knows? Maybe Kevin Molino will also get on that score sheet, but it's going to be a strong showing from Trinidad tomorrow. So, guys, I just wanted to bring this one for you guys. I hope you have a great evening and join me tomorrow night for the watch along. We will be all be here. I will, even probably open the phone lines in the second half so you guys could call in and tell me what you thought about the first half while we wait for the teams to restart proceedings. So tune in for that. Have a good one. Smash a like and subscribe. And of course, bro, everyone loves Carnival. Who doesn't love, a Trini creation? You love roti? You know what I'm saying? What can I say again, bro? And if not for Calypso, you don't know what time it is. Hey, bro, this guy Dixon is overrated. I'm not one to bash the youth, but this guy Dixon, he is very, very overrated. He used to be at Revolution Academy. And yeah, PSG Academy, Orlando used to smash them all the time. He's probably scored less goals than the defender at PSG Academy. So I don't know. It was shocking. But let's see. Let's see. Sometimes You know, potential is bigger than what they're showing right now. And I heard he has a lot of potential. But, you know what I mean? He's no JJ Gabriel. You know what I mean? If you know who JJ Gabriel is, you know that he's a Trini playing at Manchester United. Interesting talent. Have a great night, guys. See you tomorrow for the watch along. Be here or be square. But you know what? Don't forget to smash a like and subscribe. And of course, make sure you enjoy your night. And it's going to be a rivalry. My Jamaican brethren, Godfrey says 3-1 Jamaica. Of course, Heat Chu Chi says 2 for Dixon and 2 for Cephas. You know, Clarendon with love from Clarendon with love says Heat Chu. But you know what I will say? Trini to the bone. Trini to the world. Shout out to Hayden Pro in the building. But Trinidad and Tobago is definitely walking away with a shock victory against Jamaica tomorrow night. And my prediction is going to be a 3-2. And if I have to go wild, I would say 4-2 Trinidad and Tobago. And the opening goal coming from Dante Sealy. So if it happens, guys, just remember I told you in advance. Oh my goodness, 100-0, says this guy. Lee, it's not going to be a repeat of the Unique Cup, bro. We weren't playing to win that game. And then we know you love roti, bro. Get you a Trini wife. You know what I mean? Get yourself a Trini wife, broski. Peace out.